Good morning, Wildcats. I'm President Palmer. The convocation ceremony that you're about to watch was recorded over a week ago. But here we are again, looking at an issue of police violence, racial issues, and violence in America's cities. America's hurting right now, and I know that a lot of you are feeling this pain as well. We talk about these issues in the convocation address, but I wanted you to know that in the light of recent events, we care about you, we care about one another, and we care about this community. I'm asking all Wildcats to look out for one another and to show that we are all one community and one college and one Culver-Stockton. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dean Schellenberger, Vice President for Academic Affairs, and it's my honor to welcome you to the 2020 opening convocation for Culver-Stockton College. Our annual all-college convocation is the time when we welcome the new academic year and we welcome you back into the Culver-Stockton College family. And now I would like to invite Reverend Sorenson to give the invocation.
Please join me in a spirit of prayer. God of new beginnings, on this day we come together through the gift of technology to celebrate a new beginning. But we do so with both excitement and trepidation in the face of a pandemic and social unrest. Recognizing this year will be different than any other, a little nervous about what that means, but also knowing that this can be an opportunity for growth and creativity. So let us look forward to this year with hope, with a new vision for a better future, seeking your inspiration in all that we do. Give us both the wisdom and courage to work toward your kingdom, a place in which all people can live in your shalom, where we care for the sick, the oppressed are free, the broken receive healing and compassion, and love and grace are freely given, where we truly care for and accept those who have been othered, a place where nothing is broken and no one is missing. In this new time, we are going to need your strength and your guidance. So we place our anxieties in your hands and ask that you replace them with clear and open minds, ready to learn and face the challenges that lie ahead. Open our hearts that we may give and receive grace and compassion that we so desperately need. We know that we are a community made up of individuals, and all of our needs and feelings cannot be covered by one prayer, but you know what they are before we even do, and so we offer them all to you. And with hearts of gratitude for your constant presence, we say, Amen. And now I would like to introduce our Student Government Association President, Cheyenne Grissom.
Welcome back, Wildcats. I'm Cheyenne Grissom, your Student Government Association President. With this year full of many events happening in the world, it is so wonderful to be able to return home to the Hill. I have been so excited to get back on campus ever since we left from spring break. As students who have pledged our loyalty to the campus community, I hope we take our Wildcat pledge extremely seriously to protect each other. Wildcats have always been resilient. From the great floods of the Mississippi, tornadoes, wars, and now a global pandemic, Wildcats have always looked to the brighter side and come together to work through these challenges. Being resilient, adaptive, and persevering is in our Wildcat tradition. Normally, Convocation is one of the biggest events held on campus, but this year we had to switch it up and figure out a safer way to hold it. These are ways the administration, faculty, and staff have been driven to keep student safety and experience at their top priority. Therefore, this will be the first Convocation that is video streamed. Although we have to have alternatives to our regulars, do not let that deter you from making memories. We just have to do it a little safer. This year is still full of opportunities and possibilities. We are still creating and finding ourselves to be able to be the next Wildcats to leave lasting impressions wherever life takes us, and most importantly, we are doing that together. While we all chose to come to Culver-Stockton College, we also chose to become a part of the Wildcat family. In this Wildcat family, we appreciate and value each and every one of you. Whether you are from a different state, a different country, a different religion, if you are a different color, or if you love differently, you will always be valued, protected, and cared for while being a part of the Wildcat family. We see you, we value you, and we support you. We as Wildcats will not stop fighting for you because Culver-Stockton College is now a home for all of us here. And I will leave you all with this. In a recent video by Dr. Scott Giltner, he quoted Oscar Dorian saying, "We do not go around with a chip on our shoulder looking for a fight, but we, like the Wildcat, will be there with bells on when anybody tries to run us over." Dr. Giltner goes on to say that this type of fight has always been the Wildcat way. Like we have for the past 100 years of being Wildcats, we will not stop being resilient, adaptive, or persistent. And now we have a message from the chairman of our board of trustees, Mr. Ron Leftwich.
I'm Ron Leftwich, Chair of the Board of Trustees of Culver-Stockton College. Thank you, Cheyenne, for sharing such a good message. Also, want to welcome you to the Culver-Stockton College Board of Trustees for the year 2020-2021. Look forward to seeing you at our fall board meeting. What a great day to be a Culver-Stockton College Wildcat. Thank you all for being valued members of the Culver-Stockton community. We all experience unusual times and events in our lives. This is one of those times, and it is affecting all of us. While this COVID-19 has potential health issues that have caused us to take significant precautions, it is also teaching us positive, interesting, and new techniques in the adventures of life. And you're getting to experience this on the campus of Culver-Stockton College under the outstanding leadership of Dr. Douglas Palmer. Now, I'm not going to go through all of the impressive background on Dr. Palmer. You can read that on the college website or in the many articles published since Dr. Palmer was elected as the 27th president of Culver-Stockton College. What I want to share is more of who our new leader is, how much he means to the college, and how much the college means to him. Dr. Palmer was unanimously selected by the Presidential Search Committee and by the Board of Trustees of the college. We each, and all of us, learned Dr. Palmer is a student-oriented leader, and Culver-Stockton College Students of Promise are his #1 focus. Dr. Palmer did his homework on our great college before he applied to be president. From the beginning, we knew he had the tools that we needed to lead Culver-Stockton College into the future. And Dr. Palmer truly wanted to become a Wildcat. Now, just so you know, he quickly was seen wearing Culver-Stockton gear along with his family. He bleeds Culver blue. He wears his dome pin with pride. He believes in experiential learning, and he deeply believes in our students of promise and the student experience. In one of our earliest talks, Dr. Palmer stated that Culver-Stockton has an amazing story to tell, and we have to find more ways to spread the story. And he is doing just that. This helps attract not only more students like the students of promise who are on the campus now, but also top-notch college leaders, faculty, and staff. Dr. Palmer believes in the future of the college, and he wants us all to learn what it means to be able to say to all of us, welcome to the Midwest premier experiential learning college. So on behalf of the Culver-Stockton College Board of Trustees, it is with great pleasure and extreme excitement I present to you Dr. Doug Palmer, President of Culver-Stockton College.
Thank you, Chairman Leftwich. Thank you to the trustees. We are indeed blessed here at Culver-Stockton to have a board of trustees and a chair who are as committed and knowledgeable about higher education as we have. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening perhaps. Hello, Wildcats. I am pleased and thrilled to offer each of you the Convocation address for the 2020 and 2021 academic year. This is indeed a strange format for a convocation. I'm certain that I am the first president to do a virtual convocation address here at Culver-Stockton College. This is indeed a strange time in our history. We stand here in academic robes, quite frankly, in an empty auditorium, in a virtual format, in part because this is our tradition. And tradition is what I plan to speak about today. Our college is full of traditions. Our robes, for example, remind us of the 1,000-year-old tradition of university education extending all the way from the Middle Ages. Robes, costumes, clothing, they told others what your rank and status was. The gowns and hoods that we wear not only provided warmth in the drafty halls of medieval Paris or Oxford or Heidelberg, but in a day before social media, they were quite literally your status. I don't know what the medieval version was of It's Complicated, but here we are. In the Middle Ages, university students and faculty were subject to the laws of the church rather than the laws of the city. The church's law was in fact far more lenient than the civil law. And even in the Middle Ages, students are students. Carousing was common and often resented by members of the town who thought that the schools were just a little too lenient. It's not uncommon that when students assembled in large groups, fights would break out with people from the town. So under pressure to maintain order, the colleges had to designate officials to police the students. Even today, when we assemble as a college, we have a mace, a medieval weapon that now symbolizes the authority of the college. And titles like provosts, deans, marshals, all have origins in medieval law enforcement. Their job was not only to keep control over the students, but to protect the students from the people of the town. Traditions remind us that we are tied to a web of humanity, that we are part of a social contract which is not only in the present, but stretches back to generations which came before. Even our innovative curriculum, which makes Culver-Stockton the Midwest's premier experiential learning college, is built on a foundation which seeks to educate us within the best values of faith in the human spirit. Some traditions, however, are certainly not worth keeping, and some are unjust and even evil. We've seen in the course of events in this country vigorous and violent debates over traditions which never should have been traditions at all. The informal traditions of things like redlining and police brutality to the formal and legalized traditions of Jim Crow and segregation, to the monumental traditions of Confederate statues erected in public places such as state capitals and even on some college campuses. The theologian Jim Wallace calls slavery America's original sin, which, like the biblical original sin, creates an indelible stain on the political and social fabric of our civic communities. In Judaism, tikkun olam is a Hebrew phrase roughly translating to repair the world.
In both the Jewish and Christian traditions, our fall from God's grace through our original sin, the eating of the apple which drove Adam and Eve from paradise, damaged God's creation. Our work on earth is to repair this damage. And we do this first and foremost through our faith, but also by how we treat others justly and with love. It is a process which is ongoing, but within our human power to effect. In a similar sense, America, for its flaws, also places into our hands the power to create a better world. The Constitution starts with these words: "We the people, in order to create a more perfect union." Not, note, that we have created, but are creating, even improving on a perfect union for a more perfect union. If slavery is our nation's original sin, then our Constitution, our respect for liberty, our system of government founded on we the people, is also our salvation. Legitimate questions have been raised over the course of the summer about what will Culver-Stockton do in order to respond to recent events. I have to say that I am not one who typically spends a great deal of time looking in a rear-view mirror, ironically enough, as a professor of history. Our path is forward. The college, moreover, is a place in which we value the attributes of critical thinking, higher order reasoning, and a healthy level of academic skepticism, should aspire more than sound bites, slogans, and hashtags. We will and have affirmed that as a college, we value the human spirit, justice, and equality, while we similarly condemn with full voice racism and hatred. But we do acknowledge and must acknowledge that as a college, as a nation, we have to do better. My goodness, we've been saying this in higher education for a long, long time. Colleges have formed task force after task force, committee after committee. Whole forests have been cut down for papers and the penning of diversity statements. But as Benjamin Franklin once said, without continual growth and progress, words like achievement and success have no meaning. I have known diversity task forces to have achieved success in writing statements. But where is the continual growth and progress? I wonder if we're asking the wrong question. Should we instead return to our traditions? Should we embody the spirit of Culver-Stockton and our mission to use the best values of faith in the human spirit to endeavor to repair a broken world? What if we took it upon ourselves to create a community that decided to take our teaching, our research, our service, our curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular activities to heal a world which suffers from the wounds of hatred and prejudice, suffers from hunger, suffers from war, from the pain of addiction, from ignorance, from the lack of opportunity to live with freedom and dignity? If we took our values as free citizens of a democratic society to work towards the inclusion of all, justice for all, and opportunity for all, then perhaps we, wildcats, would also find ourselves transformed. And so this upcoming year, we will form not a task force, but a learning community, a community of students, faculty, and staff, with a goal of asking ourselves, how can we on the Hill repair? Can we Wildcats fight for justice together as one community, as one Culver-Stockton? I will look forward to sharing what we've learned and hearing what we have all learned in this process over the course of the upcoming year. But a convocation is really about the excitement of a new year. And here's the wonderful news, fellow Wildcats. You are already doing this work. Every service learning project says Culver-Stockton students care about our community. International travel not only exposes you to the wider world, it also says that we care about being part of a global community. Our performances in music, theater, art, it shows that we contribute our voices and talents to create beauty and to provoke thought. And our internships and simulations show our collective commitment to excellence. In our general education curriculum, ACE events, EXP classes, we confront the major issues of our age in order to be better equipped to work towards a better world. And the best news is that we do not sacrifice our own career and vocational preparation by working towards living a life of purpose. Because the same skills used in working to repair a broken world will also make us better teachers, lawyers, doctors, nurses, accountants, and so much more. This is why I am proud to say that Culver-Stockton College is indeed the Midwest's premier experiential learning college. As we begin our new year, we ask for your flexibility. We ask for your diligence in protecting this community on the Hill. We ask that you follow our COVID guidelines. And soon, with God's blessing, we will be back to normal as one community, one college, one Culver-Stockton. May God bless our efforts, and may God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Palmer. Wildcats, you have heard the challenges we face as we begin this year. But we have also heard the good and the hope. So I leave you with this thought and this prayer, similar to the words that I shared with faculty and staff. And that is the good news, that wherever we go, in the good or the bad, in the joy and the fear, in the brokenness and the healing, in the predictable and in the unknowns, God walks alongside us, lending us courage and strength and mercy. So may the light of love shine on you and through you. May the peace of the Spirit be upon you. And may the hope of God carry you forward as we work toward justice and healing. Go in peace. Amen.